Just moments ago, the House Select Committee wrapped up its 7th hearing regarding its investigation into the January 6th attack on our nation's capital.
And during today's hearing, one of the men we heard from is a local man who faced charges for his role on that day. Brandon Simmons joins us now with details on what happened in Washington today.
Yeah, a lot happened today. Today's hearings really focused on one thing, and that was connecting President Donald Trump, former President Trump, with extremist groups, saying that the riots that happened were actually coordinated. Now, much of that centered around that theory centered around a tweet from Mr. Trump on December 19th of 2020. Now, in that tweet, Mr. Trump mentions a big protest in D.C. on January 6th and also says, "Be there, will be wild." That's a quote. Now, committee members argued that the tweet is what mobilized many extremist groups, including the Proud Boys and the Oathkeepers, but it also attracted people who weren't part of those groups, including Stephen Ayres from Champion Township in Trumbull County. He was caught on video, later arrested, and has since pled guilty for his involvement that day. Now, at the time, he reposted the president's call to action and believed the election was stolen. But now he worries about people who still believe everything the former president says.
I was hanging on every word he was saying. Everything he was putting out, I was following it. I mean, if I was doing it, hundreds of thousands or millions of other people are doing it, or maybe even still doing it. You know, you got people still following and doing that. Who knows what the next election could come out.
Now, Ayers also spoke about being a family man, and he also shared his love for the country. He added that one man, referring to Mr. Trump, can't be more important than any of that. Now, he also spoke to the influence the president had on him and others, saying had the president asked people to leave the Capitol sooner, he and many others probably would have left. And he mentioned that, saying that they didn't leave until that video that the president posted later that day on January 6th.
Now, Ayers isn't accused of committing any violent acts on January 6th at the Capitol. He still faces, however, charges for being inside the Capitol on that day. Where does his case stand now? Yeah,
now Ayers, you have to remember, he was arrested back in January of last year. He was caught on video inside the Capitol. That's what we showed you. A portion of that video was played today during the committee hearings. Now, Ayers pleaded guilty to one charge of disorderly conduct in the Capitol. He pleaded guilty last month, and he could face years in jail. But I do have to point out that many who have been convicted before him have gotten shorter sentences. Ayers will learn his fate at sentencing coming up later on in September, and we also know that those committee hearings continue next week. That's scheduled to be the final one, but who knows what may happen in all of this.
Wow, a lot to process and everything.
A lot to take in.
All right, thanks so much, Brandon.
Sure.